What is up, guys? This is Andy Huling. This is our very first NCAA March Madness tournament special, and I've got the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Schuessler. He's an accountant at Auburn University. He's been breaking down the numbers for the past couple of weeks about the NCAA tournament, and he's here to tell us now about his tournament picks for this year's March Madness tournament. So, Sam, before we get into just the breakdown on the tournament, I want to ask you, since you've been on campus, you've been down to see some basketball games. I want to ask you, just like, what happened to Auburn? Just that we looked like we may be like the last four in, right there on the bubble, but we just fell apart.
The boys, I mean, it was just a lot of things. It was just, we didn't play defense. That's just how it is. Mm-hmm. We didn't make free throws, and that's what winning teams do. And we weren't able to do that. I think we have a lot of talent, but we're also really young. And so we have a lot of room for improvement. But I think we will get there at some point.
I got you. And then also, you're a big Georgetown Hoya, man. I mean, they were also right there on the bubble, too. And, what happened to Georgetown? Usually a very good basketball program. What happened to them?
Well, I really think the committee should have taken a second look. The thing that really got us was the 6-game losing streak heading into the finalists, losing in the Big East. I mean, it was a lot of things. We got robbed nonetheless. But 5-13 in conference play, that was a tough one to explain to the committee. So, we'll get there next year.
I got you. So, we're getting into the tournament. It starts actually tonight. We got the first four, some teams that not as necessarily they're not favorites to win the tournament, but they can cause some upsets with those number one seeds that they have to play if they win their games. So who do you think, just getting into some maybe teams that might make a run, who do you think some of these upset teams are?
So I think a couple of them. The interesting thing about the play-in game is it allows you to build momentum heading into the tournament, and it is an extra game, but it can also be a good thing as well. The two teams, obviously the 16th seed, I don't see either one of them beating Kansas or Villanova, but the two teams that I'm looking at is Wake Forest and USC. I think those teams right now will probably win their play-in game, and I think both of those teams could really make some noise at this year's tournament. Another team that I'm looking at is Middle Tennessee State. They absolutely wrecked everyone's bracket last year, and I think they have the ability and now the experience to do it again next year against Minnesota.
Yeah, but I got Middle Tennessee right here in the bracket. I mean, they've got Butler, Winthrop, and they got Arkansas and Seton Hall. I mean, that's a pretty good section of the draw that they can cause some ruckus up here with North Carolina. You never know. I mean, Minnesota is a beatable team, so not necessarily a high quality team. I think Middle Tennessee, anything's possible. The favorites in the tournament, obviously being Villanova, Gonzaga, North Carolina, and Kansas. They're number one seeds. You also got Arizona. You got Kentucky in there. You got just a lot of teams like Oregon and Louisville who can make some noise. So Sam, who do you think some of the teams are going to be that will make good runs in the tournament that are most likely favorites to get to the Final Four?
So in this year, I like Duke. Obviously, I think they're playing really, really good basketball. They always do well in the tournament. For me, I'm looking at coaches. The teams that are always good in the tournament every year, the ones with the best coaches. And so I think you have to think about Louisville, Kansas, obviously, North Carolina, Kentucky. But I also think you got to watch out for teams like Michigan State, Wisconsin. These teams that are constant, they have great coaches, are really well-run programs, and are constantly in the tournament year after year. They're going to be very disciplined, and I think they have the opportunity to make some noise.
I got you. Yeah, I've ruined many of brackets picking the team that is a well-known basketball program, but I didn't think they were going to do well because they weren't like ranked high or anything like that. Like Michigan State this year was a team to look out for. They're a great program, made many Final Fours, won some titles. But you know, a lot of people aren't picking them because they haven't had a good season. And just as you said, like, you know, you got coaches like Tom Izzo for Michigan State who've been there. They know that situation. They can lead their team to victory. So now I want to ask you, who do you think? I want to know actually your Final Four, and then who's going to be in the final and who will win eventually the national title.
Yeah. So I've got Arizona coming out of the West. I've got Duke coming out of the East. I think Grayson Allen is going to get hot and lead the team. Kansas out of the Midwest, and North Carolina out of the South.
I got you.
And out of those, I think North Carolina will defeat Kansas, and I think Duke will beat Arizona. Once again, those two coaches, Krzyzewski and Roy Williams are some of the best in the business. And I think they'll square off, and I think Duke, they found a way to beat them in the ACC tournament, and I think they'll find a way to do it again here in the championship.
I got you. That's exactly my Final Four. We have the same Final Four. I literally picked those same four, and I got Duke and North Carolina in the title. But the only difference is I got North Carolina winning instead of Duke. I just think North Carolina they want that revenge. They want that revenge, and they just lost to Duke in the title game in the ACC. They're gonna get that revenge on them, and they wanted the revenge of last year losing in the buzzer for the national title game.
I've already crunched the numbers. I think Duke's gonna win.
He's used his accountant's knowledge. You know, just he knows how to crunch the numbers at Auburn.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, they should make accounting a job at Auburn for March Madness instead of accounting, you know, in the real world. You know, don't you think they should?
Yeah, I'll talk to Mr. Norm Godwin about that, and we'll see what we can do. Maybe 6 months or so. I'm sure we can make that happen.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get into some picks, and we're just gonna run through the bracket, or just do a couple of the big games and maybe some upset picks that we have. So we're going to start out with Wisconsin and Virginia Tech. Who do you think is going to win this one, Sam?
I've got Wisconsin. I mentioned it earlier. They're well coached. They play a good brand of basketball. I've got them beating Virginia Tech.
I got Virginia Tech in this one. I like the Hokies. They were on fire in the ACC tournament. Lost to Florida State, but I think they're a really good team. I think they'll get the job done, and they'll play Villanova in the next round. And then the next game we have is Virginia against UNC Wilmington. So who do you think is going to win this one?
So UNC Wilmington, obviously the underdog, but I've got them winning. They've got a lot of experience on their team. They're extremely athletic, and I think they can definitely play with UVA.
That's a huge upset right there, but I got Virginia winning that one. Just don't think UNC Wilmington can do it, but hey, you never know. This guy, I mean, as we said, he's an accountant. He knows his numbers, so if he's right, then that's nothing normal. I mean, he's just extraordinary. So, all right, the next game we have is South Carolina and Marquette. Who do you think is going to win this one?
See, I've got Marquette. I think South Carolina's a good team. They played well all year. They played Auburn really well, but I've just got Marquette. The Big East is about as tough as it comes, and I think they'll find a way to pull it out.
I like Marquette in this one. Same reasons. I just think South Carolina, they didn't make it as far as they wanted to in the SEC tournament. They kind of struggled towards the end of the season, so I think Marquette will get them a better program. I just think they're too strong for South Carolina. The next game we got is Northwestern making their very first appearance in the NCAA tournament against Vanderbilt. Who do you think is going to win?
I've got Northwestern, and I think the fact that they've never been here before, they're going to be ready to go. And Vanderbilt, I don't know. I just don't see it. I think Northwestern comes out on top.
All right, I got this pick for my man Kevin Lazenby. Vanderbilt all the way. I just think Vanderbilt they'll get the win. They have more experience. Northwestern, they're a good team, but they just I think the tournament stage is going to shock them a little bit. So I think they'll get the dub. Okay, so the next game we got is Maryland and Xavier. Who do you think is going to win?
I got Xavier. I think Maryland could be one of the most talented teams in the nation, and yet they're only a 7th seed. And I think that speaks to the fact that there's not a lot of team chemistry there, and I think Xavier takes advantage of that and pulls it out.
Yeah, I like Xavier too. They're a really good team. And Maryland is good, but I just think they're a little bit overrated. Just not the quality that their ranking shows. And I just think that Xavier, stronger team, they'll win. And then the next game we have is St. Mary's and VCU. Who do you think's gonna win this one?
Got VCU. I think all Shaka Smarts, all his old recruits are in there now, and they're playing some good basketball. I think they beat them.
Yeah, I like VCU. St. Mary's, they play with Gonzaga. That's like the only team they play. But like besides Gonzaga, they're like the most dominant team in that Western Conference out there. And I just think that's such a soft conference. And I think both St. Mary's and Gonzaga are going to find out that college basketball is just not as easy as it looks in that conference. So I think St. Mary's is going to just see that VCU's a stronger team. So I like VCU in that one. And then the next game we have is up here in with Miami and Michigan State. Who do you think's gonna win?
I got Michigan State. I can't bet against the Spartans. I think Izzo gets them ready to play, and they pull it out against a less experienced Miami team.
I like Michigan State too. I think Tom Izzo gets the job done. Miami's a good team. I mean, they've really come on this season. Really a fresh new team in the ACC. But like I like Michigan State with their experience. And then the next game we have is Creighton and Rhode Island. Who do you think's gonna win?
I got Rhode Island. I think they pull it out. It's another one of my upsets. Don't really have a good reason why. I just have a good feeling about
it. Yeah, I like Rhode Island too. I really do. Creighton is good, but Rhode Island, if you hadn't seen that team play, they're for real. They make some big plays, and they won their conference. And I think Rhode Island will get the upset on Creighton. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this show today. It was a really good show. Sam came on and was our guest picker. We talked some tournament talk. So Sam, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem. So guys, don't forget, if you're watching this early in the morning, you can still join the NCAA tournament challenge I have on ESPN. You can go in there, fill out your bracket, join my group, and also, guys, you can subscribe down below by using the red button that says subscribe. And you can add me on Instagram and Snapchat to get more exclusive content from this show. So guys, don't forget to do all that, and you can join the tournament for the big prize that we have, which Sam is getting to me right now, and that is the $50 Outback gift card. So guys, this is a big prize. I mean, Sam's in to win this. His brother's in there. We got 2 shoe stores in there. I see some Smith-Tees out there that are in this. Caleb Weisinger, Ellis Godwin, a lot of people, Carter Milner, all these people are joining up to get this big prize. I'm sure they want some Outback food. I mean, it's definitely a big prize for the winner. So guys, once again, I'm Andy Huling, and this is the Huling Sports Report.
And it feels so good.